So he overcomes Mount Menak also and proceeds further. And when he proceeds further, there is another one that comes up, Sursa and Sihika. Sursa and Sihika were said to be blessed. And anyone who would cross that ocean had to go through their mouth. And that is when they would become their victims. So similarly also in the path of effort making, on the path of spirituality, when we are making efforts, when we are proceeding, Sursa means jealousy, ill feeling. And Sihika means competition. These two come up in our lives also, jealousy and competition. And no one can be saved from these two, because they come in subtle way that we are hardly able to identify them, and they are blessed. They keep their mouths open. Competition and jealousy are always there with their mouths open, and we have to go from the mouth. And that is when they try to kill us. That is why we find in this age of competition, so many people become victims when they are not able to achieve their destination. And the competition is so great, they end up their lives. They kill themselves. They commit suicide. And jealousy is also such that makes them their victims. So Sursa and Sihika means jealousy and competition. These two are the greatest barrier for a person who is trying to follow the path of spirituality. The greatest hindrance. But Hanuman, a person who was focused, a person who is concentrated and has a surrendered intellect and courage, he overcomes this too also and moves further on his path of spirituality to attain Sita, to look for Sita. And as he goes, reaches the kingdom of Ravan, and is trying to look for Sita, and then in Ashok Vatika, the garden, he sees Sita sitting underneath a tree. Ashoka means where there is no shoka. Shoka means grief, sorrow, unhappiness does not prevail there. In the materialistic comforts, human beings feel there is no grief, no sorrow when we have all the materialistic comforts. But we find that although it was Ashoka garden, Sita was sitting there in shoka, in grief. Isn't it? So similarly, although staying and living in this world of physical comforts, materialistic prosperities, but the soul are not experiencing true happiness in their lives. And they are also sitting in shoka. Isn't it? So the materialistic comforts are temporary. They give temporary happiness, but finally they make the prisoners, that they cannot leave those materialistic comforts and they cannot enjoy happiness as well. Then they start thinking, it was better we did not have these comforts. We were more happy then. But now nothing can be done. So similarly, we find that this world where the materialistic comforts are, once we become victims of them, we cannot lead a life of happiness also, and we cannot let them go also. This is how we become prisoners. And we are sitting in the Ashoka garden, in Shoka, in the remembrance of God. Oh God, why don't you come and liberate us from this cage, which is of gold, but it is not giving us happiness. And Ravan comes there, and he still asks Sita, you should become mine. You should come under the influence of mine. But Sita just takes up a grass. A grass is in her hands, and she challenges Ram also. I will not become yours, and you cannot enter, or you cannot come beyond this grass. because that is the power that I possess, and I can burn you into ashes. So similarly, living in this world of materialistic pleasures, all comforts, if we really want to get out, if we really want to experience happiness, we also have to increase our power of purity, our aura of purity. Then we'll be safe. We'll be safe from all sorts of evils that are being surrounding us. Because those who are in materialistic pleasures, their enemies are also more. And they try to attack them in different ways. But if we have that spiritual aura, and the aura is more, then we can challenge such Ravans also, such demoralized human beings as well, who try to bring us under various types of pressures. We would not come under their influence. So this is how Ravan could also not do anything to her, and he leaves, and that is when Hanuman realizes and comes down, shows him the ring that was given by Rama, and the one who is surrendered intellect and has devotion, Sita, the embodiment of purity, is able to recognize him, that this is no other than a messenger from God. So when the messenger from God comes, such souls who are in grief, who have all the pleasures but are in grief, they also recognize those messengers. When you came here, there was some messenger who had come up to you. Why don't you come to Mount Abu? Had come with the message of God, showed you his ring, and that is why you felt, yes, let us go and visit this place. So similarly, those who become messengers, so now when you go from here, you will become the true Hanumans for others. And you have to bring those also who are lost in that Ashoka Vatika, who are lost in that materialistic world with all comforts, but who are in grief and pain and sorrow. You have to give the message of God that you have heard here after going from here. And they will also, those who are the embodiment of devotion, they will realize the message. And this is how, this is the greatest act of charitable, or this is the true way you can become Hanuman or the helpers of God, in bringing those Sitas out of those cages and enlightening them. As we go further, we find that after Hanuman recognizes Sita and gives the message, then he thought of destroying that Ashoka Vatika. So as he was trying to destroy the Ashoka Vatika, Meghnad comes and captures him. And he takes him in front of Ravana. But Hanuman was courageous, and he wanted to see Ravan, who Ravan is and how he is. So because of his qualities and his virtues, he was not at all afraid of anybody. Those who are afraid can never become Hanumans. If you are afraid that if we go from here and if we give this message of God, we don't know what people will tell us, so then you can never become Hanuman. So you have to challenge those Ravans also on the basis of the qualities and virtues that you have promised here in front of God, that we shall live such a life. And you should have the courage to face those evil forces as well, the negative forces as well. Because the one step you take to perform a benevolent act, the devils, the negative forces will try to stop you. Don't do this. They will try to stop you. But don't be afraid of them. These are the test papers for you. to prove your worthiness. And this is how when he is taken in front of Ravana, Ravana thinks of punishing him, so he tries to put fire to his tail. And what does he do? He converts that threat also into an opportunity. He burns Lanka, isn't it? So those souls who are not afraid, they turn threats into opportunities. And they progress in this path of spirituality also. Nothing can stop them. They are able to damage Lanka, means they are able to damage the ego consciousness of the evil forces. And they challenge them as well. So it was also a damage caused to the ego of Ravan. So then it is said that he takes a vow of fighting with Sri Ram also.